inshallah. Just one thing, we will not be fielding any questions directly from the audience. So please don't bother with that. We already have enough questions that needs to be answered. So please keep that in mind. And just one announcement, inshallah, Path to Piety program will take place on 2nd, 3rd and 4th April, 2nd, 3rd and 4th of April 2010 at Darus Salam. That's in Toronto, Darus Salam Masjid in Toronto. Please keep that in mind. Path to Piety program, 2nd, 3rd and 4th of April 2010, inshallah. We have our brother Muhammad and brother Umair. They will be presenting the questions to our shuyukh, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. Okay, as like Imam Nafis mentioned, we won't be fielding any questions from the audience simply because we have a plethora of questions here, but we only have half an hour till Maghrib. So we'll delve right into the question. The first question is directed to Sheikh Ibrahim Mogra, and the question is, what is the core principle or rule one has to implement in his or her life to try to have a deep-rooted yaqeen for the Sahaba, or the same yaqeen that the Sahaba radiallahu anhu had?
Bismillah wa salamu ala rasulillahi wa sa'il al-anbiya. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. The questioner wishes to know how one could acquire the same deep-rooted yaqeen as the Sahaba radiallahu anhum had. I believe that, as with all things, nothing is acquired without an effort. And every effort requires a degree of sacrifice. The Sahaba radiallahu anhum demonstrated this throughout their lives, that they worked extremely hard, and as they worked very hard, they made sacrifices that we would really struggle to make ourselves. In addition to that, I believe that the link that we establish with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through ibadat is also extremely important. Not only that, but in our day-to-day lives, the degree of dependency upon Allah plays a crucial role in the level of our yaqeen. The more trust we place in Allah, whilst utilizing the asbab and the means to make our lives comfortable, the more our yaqeen in Allah and His assistance will increase. In addition to that, the remembering of the fact that this worldly life that I'm living will one day come to an end, and then I will have to stand before my Maker, before my Lord, before Allah, and answer for all my actions. This realization, this constant remembrance of this, will inshallah also help to increase the level of yaqeen and the strength of yaqeen that the individual has. Of course, the yaqeen is unknown to anybody. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has complete knowledge of where each one of us is with regards to the yaqeen that one has. But having said all that I have said, to my mind, the most important ingredient for all of us, if we want to increase the level of our yaqeen, is hubbullah, the love that we have for Allah. And that will dictate everything that we do. In our lives, if we love someone, we do our very best to keep them happy. If we truly love someone, we do our very best to keep them happy. We do our very best to be obedient to them, to do as they wish. We try our best not to hurt them by doing something that will upset them, by doing something that will anger them, by doing something that will disappoint them. And so if we become true in our love for Allah, then we will never do something that will anger Allah. We will never do something that is against the laws of Allah and the rules of Allah. And whatever we do, we will do it out of love for Allah. Rather than seeking reward, ajr and hasanat from Allah, we will be doing it to gain His love. And in order to be able to gain the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have to build into our hearts, into our lives, the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Because these go hand in hand. One cannot acquire the love of Allah without first acquiring the love for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and his teachings. So the Quran is very clear about that. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. قل إن كنتم تحبون الله. If you love Allah, فاتبعوني. The messenger says you must follow me. Adopt my sunnah. يحببكم الله. Then Allah will love you. It's very interesting to note here. I appreciate Sheikh Hassan will want to add something to this response. It is very easy for us to claim that we love someone. It's quite easy to do that. You can say, I love you. A husband will say that to his wife. The wife will say to his husband. We'll say to it to our children, to our neighbors, to our friends, etc., to our teachers. But more importantly is when that love is reciprocated. When the person for whom you declare your love says back to you that I too love you. That is what really matters. And this ayah tells us that if we love Allah, then we have to obey the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When we do that, then Allah will say to you and me, I love you. And this is what the Sahaba radiallahu anhum demonstrated throughout their lives. And this is why Allah declares in the Quran, radiyallahu anhum wa radu anhu. That Allah is happy with them, Allah loves them, and they love Allah. Jazakumullah.
What is the ruling for teens and kids who really want to get married to safeguard their iman? However, parents want them to become something first. Can you answer in Urdu and English if possible? They don't understand our environment. Okay, now, firstly, the questioner, more or less, from the way they've written this question, they want a particular type of answer. That's why they said Urdu as well. They want the parents to basically understand properly. Yaad rakhna ye baat. They're going to go home and quote it to you as well. And then they said they don't understand our environment. So it's almost indicating that give us the answer we want. I want to get married to a girl. My father doesn't agree. Just say yes and I'll marry her.